All right, check it out. So, I believe I have some award winning advice because I thought about this not just today, but all the time. You know, I'm constantly attempting to figure out how is it I'm able to connect with so many people. And when I say connect with people, doesn't mean we're always on the same page. Do you have friends that you're really good friends with that you have similar ideas, similar beliefs, or maybe conflicting altogether? You know, some people are able to have friendships, relationships of conflicting opinion, belief, political beliefs, spiritual beliefs, family beliefs, all those different things. And you want to know how they do it? I'm going to teach you something that I believe is a technique that can add value to every single one of us and that you could add to every single relationship that you have. See, one of the big things is this. What if I were to tell you that instead of attempting to get people to see things your way, what if you just started meeting people where they were at? How does that sound? What if you can meet them where they're at? And all that means is this. Number one, stop attempting to change people. Stop attempting to get people to be what you want them to be. Stop attempting them to live on your terms or to see things the way that you see them. What if you decided that instead of trying to get people to see things your way, whoops, all this stuff is here. What if you just made a decision to meet people where they're at? How big of a deal could that be for you? I'll give you an example. So people may not be ready to change. They may not be ready for challenges, and they may not be ready to do things that'll even benefit them. And a lot of times you're in position to be able to have an impact or make a difference in the lives of people around you. But a lot of times you can't make the right difference. You can't make the right impact. You can't get them to see it the way that you want them to. So you get caught up in your emotions based on you trying to make them adjust or make the adjustments that you believe necessary for them to win. What if they're not ready for that step? What about baby steps? What if you started off somewhere on a lower level, but you still had a foundation with them and you could watch them grow and flourish from where they're at? Well, how does that work and what do you mean by that? All I mean is this. Example, I'll give you a business example. So I coach people in business. I help develop people. I help people challenge themselves. I help people go from start to paid. And the reason that I do that and the reason that I'm able to have success doing that is because I meet people where they're at. See, it's not up to you to decide who's going to change or how bad a person may want it. But if you can meet them where they're at, if you can understand what's going on in their mind, if you can take a moment to understand their part of the conversation, and that's not saying allow them to stay in their comfort zone. All that means is if you can gauge exactly where someone at, if you can see where they are, then you can know where they need to start. It's like going to the gym. Imagine going to the gym with somebody who works out all the time and you tell them, hey, I'm going to train you and they're going to pay you. Well, when you get there, what if the first day you get there, you give them the hardest workout that's maybe somebody's been working out for all these years. Guess what? They're not going to accept the workout. They're not going to accept that payload. They're not even going to have that confidence. So what if you gave them a confidence believer and you gave them just a little bit to build up their confidence, even if they felt like they could do more than what you were asking them to do? Because you want to build up that rapport, you want to build up that trust, you want to build up that connectivity that there is no rush except the rush that they give themselves. See, you can have a sense of urgency, but they might not have the same sense of urgency as you. And see, if you don't line up, if you don't have that connection, if you don't have that cohesiveness and that chemistry, then it won't line up the right way. Perfect example. Look at the Super Bowl champions right now. Super Bowl's happening right now, right? Imagine if Tom Brady just went in and he started just calling shots and saying, all right, this is it. You move over here. No, you move over here. You do this. You run that route. He found out what their strengths are. They know what his strength is. They're not going to ask him to run plays where it makes him use his legs. They're going to allow him to use his mind and throw specific passes. If you look at his throwing tree, there's only specific routes that he throws, and he's really good at them. And he's been doing this for a very long time. So what would happen if you started to develop the things that you were or you possibly want to be good at, and you use that same mindset with developing people around you? So you might have a friend that you want to change, but if you implement small things and give them advice that they're open to, maybe if you connect with them on a level that allows them to feel confident, then the next level that you go to, maybe they'll be more confident. Maybe you'll build a little bit more trust. Maybe they'll go above and become an overachiever and do a little bit more than they thought they could based on the foundation that you two had put into place. So all I'm saying is this: meet people where they are at. Be willing to connect with them. Be willing to be open. Be willing to receive who they are and how they are, and you accomplish so much more. What's that saying? You attract more bees with honey, right? And that's what we're trying to do. That's ultimately in all areas of life, whether it be personal, whether it be business, whether it be physical, even whether it be giving people advice on, if you're a nutritionist and you want to work them into having a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle change, a nutritional lifestyle change, you might want to introduce them to things that will allow them, that will be the catalyst for their growth, for them to increase, for them to get better. Even in your friendships, your personal life, your relationships, if you do all of those things, how much better could those people be? How much better could you be? And also, if you're applying it to others, are you applying it to yourself? That's something that you really have to think about. That is something that we should all take into our minds, that we should all take into consideration in all these aspects of our lives. Now, thank you for joining me. That's my time. I had to get on here because I'm committed to doing the things that I said I would do long after the mood in which I said them have passed. And I want everybody to get on that same page, get on that same mindset, get on that same frequency. And don't forget, if you move forward every single day, that's a step forward, not a step backwards. So trust me. We're all in this together, and there is no indifference. This is a learning experience for myself, also a learning experience for every single one of you. Check this out, though. You didn't have to make this video. You didn't have to put this talk together. You didn't have to have this conversation. You didn't have to think about this. But if this made you feel a certain way, if this moved you in a certain direction, if this moved you closer to your center, gave you a different perspective, or gave you alignment, what I want you to do is go follow me on YouTube, Brian Baker. Look for me on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. Also, on all social media platforms, go look for me. Share this information with someone else because they could be impacted by this. This could be a difference maker for them. This could be that game changer for them that they need to take their lives, their future, and their family to the next level, but also their being to the next level. So share this. I thank you so much. And remember, you don't have to do what I just did because I did it for you. So share with them, and then maybe that'll get you closer on the same page, or maybe get you guys to have an understanding of where you're trying to meet on a middle ground to where you both can flourish. That's my time. Take care. Mr. Overmillion serve. Have an amazing day, ladies and gentlemen.